Hi guys, I'm Stefany,
I'm Santiago.
and this is
Movie
Movie Mania,
Mania,
a YouTube series where we recommend you movies to watch on your weekends. As you can see, today's aesthetic is green, and the movie that we're going to talk about is
Parasite, a movie released in 2019 made by the director Bong Joon-ho. The story revolves around the Kim's family who live in a squalid basement apartment on the edge of poverty, and how their life takes an unexpected turn when Kim Ki-woo gets the opportunity to work as an English tutor for the wealthy Park family.
The director's mastery in this film is truly commendable by allowing us to see this huge gap between the rich and the poor. It acts as an excellent portrayal of how parasitism is actually taking place in real life and is used as a concept to highlight how systemic inequalities keep the disadvantaged stuck in a cycle of desperation, represented by specific details throughout the film to show that social class division is not as obvious as some people think it is.
So, let's dive together in those marvelous details that are shown in the movie.
The first detail that we noticed while watching the movie is the invisible line between the rich and the poor. In this case, it isn't too obvious until you rewatch it a few times, but it means that social classes cannot have a relationship beyond work-related matters of boss and employee. For instance, there is even a part where the housemaid claps her hands to wake up the rich woman because she wasn't allowed to touch her due to class separation.
And every time someone tries to cross this invisible line during the movie, we can see the uncomfortable faces of the rich people, because the wealthy Park family has made it very clear since the beginning that there is a noticeable separation between them and those who work for them, as well as their surroundings, making it much like our reality actually.
The use of ascending and descending staircases in this movie works like a metaphor to represent social stratification and power dynamics. Through these movements, this film intends to critique the structural inequalities perpetuating class divisions and the illusion of the meritocratic promise. It highlights the enduring nature of social immobility and the emotional toll it takes on those striving to break free from the constraints of their socioeconomic positions.
The act of ascending to their home represents the climb towards the privilege and comfort, while the Kim's family semi-basement apartment is literally beneath the surface, representing the barriers that prevent the upward mobility for the lower class. In some way, it symbolizes their marginalized and overlooked position in society. This argument becomes stronger when using physical elements like staircases. If you're conscious enough, you start to recognize how these are shown most of the times in the film. Staircases then become an impersonation, let's say, of the separation between the rich and the poor.
During the development of the film, the director has shown us significant details in every scene. And the final one we will discuss might be the most brutal yet realistic one. And it's the fact that the main character, Ki-woo, could buy Park's house to save his dad. Or at least that was what everyone thought.
In the scene, they show us that supposedly he buys and the house, and right after that he hugs his dad. But that didn't happen. In some sense, this can be seen as a reunion that fixes everything because he prospered and moved out of poverty after a long time of suffering and being unaware of his dad's situation. And it's a nice thought that he could become rich and buy the house to free his father, and they'll live happily ever after. But again, that didn't happen.
We are all trapped where we belong, meaning that those who were born poor will die poor, and those who were born rich will die rich, because that is how systemic inequalities work almost every time.
Bong Joon-ho didn't think of this film as a direct attack on social classes. We consider that most likely he made it to raise a concern about the deplorable living conditions in Korea, the city that he has been living in and the city that he knows the most.
And even though the movie is debuted in Korea, a country with a whole different lifestyle, winning the Oscar helped him to influence and share his vision around the world, including Colombia and other countries with similar social class divisions, enhancing his critique of how systemic inequalities are common in everyday life.
And what do you think about it? Are you going to watch the movie? Please let us know in the comments what do you think about it once you have watched it.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.